Hello everybody, welcome to Distance Learning 101. In this video, we're going to talk about the key elements of good quality instructional video. Let's get started. The first and foremost place I'd like to start with is video length. We know now there's a lot of different types of videos. There's explanatory videos, tutorial videos, greeting videos, all these different kinds of things. But we know that as a general rule, a rule of thumb, less than 6 minutes is best. 6 to 9 minutes is fine. Going past 9 minutes, you really should have a reason why you need to do that, because we know that as you get past 9 minutes, the effectiveness of the video deteriorates quickly over time, to the point that when you're thinking about putting up kind of full lecture type experiences online, you're probably wasting your time. This isn't me. This is research talking. One of the things that I remember from when I was getting my master's was a study that was done where they carved groups of people up into 4 different groups. And one group, they had a traditional learning environment, and the other 3 had online learning environments. One group had no video in their course at all. Another group had short user-controlled video. And then the third group had the full lectures available to them in the distance learning environment. Then they compared the achievement of the groups over time. The group with short user-controlled video and the traditional classroom experience performed fairly equitably. I don't remember. One was a little bit greater than the other. I think it was the short user-controlled video one, but that's not important for our explanation here. What is important is that when they looked at the achievement of the group that had no video whatsoever, the online group that had no video whatsoever, and then they looked at the achievement of the group that had the full lectures online, they were statistically equivalent. So the point was, it didn't matter. The videos online were a total waste of time in terms of measuring student achievement. And if you think about that, students today, people today, just don't have that type of tolerance. So the next question you might be thinking is, okay, well, if the full lectures don't work, let me carve them up into shorter lectures. I'll just chop a 40-minute video up into 8-minute segments. Hey, that's good, done. Unfortunately, no. Key element number 2 is pre-production thinking and value. By that, we mean that there's an intent to making the video for distance learning purposes. It's going to say, we're going to make a 6 to 8 minute video that's going to talk about this concept, and we're making it to post online. That way you can get that teaching presence right in front of the camera, talking to the camera, focusing on that learner, and that type of pre-production value enhances retention and student learning with the video. So we know that. So just carving a full-length lecture up into small pieces doesn't solve the problem that you don't have pre-production value in there, and it's not a video that students are going to sense is made for them. Third thing, you want to reduce distractions in the video. Now, a key example of distractions would be the lightning over my head that flashes like that now, or the fireplace on this side. If I were making this video for a younger audience of students, I'd probably consider both of these elements to be too distractive. In this case, I wanted to put them in because I wanted to create some kind of a personalized, little bit of a warmer atmosphere, and I think it's worth it with the type of student that's going to be engaging with these videos. But I think for many students, these elements would be too distractional. I wouldn't put them in there. Generally, when I'm making instructional videos for students, I have a completely white background if it's just me talking, or I have the whiteboard and then me down in a smaller section. It's kind of a webcam whiteboard type of experience. So reduce distractional elements in your videos. The third thing is make it conversational. It should sound like the teacher is talking to people in their own voice using their own words. This brings up an important point that we get asked almost every single time you kind of making these type of videos with teachers. Should I write out what I'm going to say and then read it? My answer is generally no, for 2 reasons. One is it's not going to sound conversational. It's going to sound like a teacher's reading it, and that's not conversational. The second is it increases the time it takes to make the video exponentially. Writing out the script takes a ton of time. You're going to make a lot of mistakes reading the script, and teachers are going to do it again. It's so much more time, and it doesn't enhance the quality of the experience. Make it conversational. Instead, what I like to do is I have a number of talking points that I can see as I'm creating the video, and then I just look at those. I talk about that point quickly and as efficiently as I can, and then I move on to the next one. Another point, energy. Research shows that energy of the presenter is really, really important. So if you talk in a dull, monotone voice, you're going to reduce the effectiveness of the video. Hopefully you get that from just that that little segment. Make it energetic, bring some life into the video, put yourself into it, give it a good shot. Connected with that is speed. Surprisingly, a lot of times when people make videos, they feel like they should explain concepts slowly, but that's not what research shows. Research shows that speed of the speaker, slightly fast, is more effective than a natural or slow speed of pace. Now, you don't want to go too fast so that nobody can understand what you're saying, but you want to bring up that pace a little bit because that increases student learning. Another element to it, which is connected with conversational, is to personalize the video for your own students. So make it sound like you're talking to your students about this experience. The more you can personalize that learning video, the more it's going to resonate with your students and the better they're going to learn. Another thing that you can bring to video is, rather than making it just a passive learning, kind of passive listening video, you can add some questions inside the video. For example, you could ask students to think about what an answer to this question might be, maybe even asking them to pause the video to go on. So that if you can build in a little bit of pseudo interactivity into that video, that will enhance student learning and retention. Lastly, is you want to think about modalities. Modalities is basically often what that's is a big word that's referring to things like audio and video. Think Khan Academy. That's dual modality, right? They can listen to the instructor talking about it, and then behind the instructor, or on that blackboard type of thing they have someone explaining all the concepts, and they can see that being worked out at the same time. That dual modality approach is going to help people learn and learn better. Generally, when I'll make a webcam video, a webcast video, a screencast video, I have just that whiteboard and then me talking. So again, you're seeing and hearing at the same time, and that helps increase student learning. The last last element that we want to talk about is that, as a general rule, teacher-created video is going to be more effective than third-party video. But we made a whole video on that because it's a concept to itself. It doesn't mean that you only want to use teacher-created video, because as we've listed all these other elements, all of these elements go into whether you want to use which type of video you want to make. Teacher-created versus third-party is just one factor. All other things being equal, teacher-created is better, but that doesn't mean it's the right way to go in your situation. Watch that other video, which I'll put in the link down below if you want to get more on that particular topic. The last thing that I wanted to say before we end this video, which risks being a little bit longer than 9 minutes, I apologize, is be patient with yourself. When you start making instructional videos, if you're new to it, the first videos are going to be bad. Everyone's first videos are bad. It's unavoidable. It's just a matter of life. Be patient with yourself. The more videos you make, the better you're going to get. And be upright and honest with your students. Say, hey, I'm trying this. I hope I'm going to get better over time. Share that growth mindset experience with your students. Ask them for input on how you can get better. And you will get better very, very quickly, to the point where all of a sudden you're like, wow, these are much, much better. I'm hitting so many more of these quality elements now than I was when I first started. You will get better more quickly, and you can do it. One last little piece of advice that I wanted to add in, I wanted to patch it in because I think it's really important, and it kind of might sound contradictory to be patient, is please don't make perfect videos. And by that I mean, don't try to get every sentence, every explanation perfect. If it's good, that's your target, because making a perfect video will take you 10 times as long as making a good video. Get a take that makes sense, that you think your students are going to understand. Don't worry about the ahs, and don't worry about the off sentences, and don't worry about times where you kind of stumbled over a word. Make a good video, get it out there, and move on to the next one, because you don't have the luxury of having hours to make one short video. That's it for today. That's, I think, my whole brain dump on quality elements in a video. Some of this, as I was doing the research on this, trying to remind myself, came from, there's a really good article on Vanderbilt University that I'll put a link down in below that has more expansion on some of these concepts, as well as linking to some of the current research that highlights some of the points that I've talked about. So that, I think, could be helpful if you want to dig into this concept more. Thanks so much for watching. If you have questions or ideas or thoughts, please leave them in the comments down below, and have a great day.